Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock with news. China is producing some extraordinary imbalances as it strives to avoid recession. New Chinese home sales grew at a startlingly fast pace, up 31% year on year in August as their housing market continued to rebound. Analysts expect the market to see more growth in the coming months as their economy improves further. And one large Chinese bank, that's ICBC, and three regionals are planning bond issues to shore up their capital positions that are so large that the $42 billion involved will alone amount to the second largest monthly Chinese bond issuance ever. And this is only the start of massive capital raising by Chinese banks. In fact, China's four biggest banks face a shortfall of $330 billion to meet global capital rules kicking in 4 years. And China is now producing more than 60% of the world's steel, with mills in other parts of the world handicapped by the pandemic. China is the only country where output is rising. In Singapore, their July retail sales declined less than in the prior month on a year-ago basis, but this was considered a weak improvement. American employers added a bit less than 1.4 million new jobs in August and was almost as expected. But that now leaves a net loss since February of 11.5 million jobs so far. Their participation rate hardly changed, and their payroll growth in the private sector was the weakest contributor, a full 30% less than in July. And even though the total jobs have collapsed, the number of part-time jobs is now 3.5 million more than in February. Canadian payrolls grew less than expected in August and far less than in July, but almost all of their increase was for full-time jobs. Still, they would have been disappointed by this bounce back. And back in the US, we should note that US coal production is down 22% over the past year to the end of August. That is the steepest annual decline ever, and that industry is on track to be wiped out within a few years. And it's not only coal that is suffering. American agricultural exports, which peaked at the beginning of 2016, have been on a downward track since, requiring a very sharp rise in farm subsidies that have more than doubled since 2017. US Treasury 10-year yield rose sharply at the end of trading last week and will start today up 10 basis points at 0.72%. And the price of gold is little changed, now at $1,935 an ounce. Oil prices are lower today, down $2 a barrel to $39.50 a barrel in the US, while the international price is just over $42.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is marginally softer today from Saturday, now at 67.1 US cents. Against the Australian dollar, we're little changed at 92.2 Australian cents, and against the euro, we're also little changed at 56.7 euro cents. That means our trade-weighted index is at 70.1, and similar to this time last week. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.